My name's Steven. I am the Liondesk trainer, and welcome to our weekly live Q&As. If this is your first time joining us in live Q&A, what can you expect? Well, every Thursday at 10 a.m., we're going to go live on a few different platforms. So we'll be going live on Facebook, we'll be going live on YouTube, LinkedIn. So those three places, right? Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And we're going to make ourselves available to answer any questions that you all have about Liondesk. So we'll be jumping into the system in a moment. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and add them in the comments section below. Right. So regardless of where you're watching, I'll be able to see all of your chat questions here, and I'll be able to dive in and get them all answered. In the meantime, though, there are a few questions that I saw throughout the week, in our chats, in our support tickets. So I just want to make sure that we take some time to address those questions. But again, you can also send us your questions by adding them in the chat box below. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and jump into Liondesk, and we'll go ahead and get started. Boom, awesome. All right, y'all, so here we are logged into Liondesk. So throughout this week, I've gotten a few questions about transactions and just really how transactions work, right? So how do I upload a transaction? How do I manage my transactions? And how do I automate some emails and some text messages? So we're going to go ahead and spend some time in Liondesk transactions and show you how it works. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open up the main menu here on the left-hand side. And we're going to click on transactions. Right, so with Liondesk transactions, you'll be able to, upload any deals that you're working on, right? Whether you're working with the buyer, whether you're working with the seller, right? You'll be able to upload those transactions, and you'll be able to track them from prospecting to close, right? With Liondesk transactions, you'll be able to schedule out your emails, your text messages to the buyer, to the seller, right, on some key contract dates, right? Like the offer date, the closing date, and so on. Right, so with Liondesk transactions, you can really automate your communication and your workflow. But let's go ahead and just start from the beginning, right? So when you're in your transactions page, you are going to see these transaction types at the very top, right? So for my example, you're going to see transaction types for purchase, listing for sale, listing for lease, and then real estate other, right? You will see these pencil icons on the upper right of each transaction type. This is going to allow you to customize these transaction types, right? So for a few folks out there, I know some folks are not necessarily in real estate. You can still use transactions. You can just click on that edit icon and customize these transaction types. Or if you are in real estate, but you do like commercial real estate or anything other than or just other types of real estate, you can go ahead and modify these transaction types to fit your business needs, right? So a transaction type is a pipeline, right? It's different stages that you go through in order to take someone from prospecting to close, right? So you'll be able to track the entire process. So for example, let's use our purchase transaction type, right? I want to see the entire process. By clicking on this downward caret, it is going to expand this transaction type, and it's going to show me the entire process, right? So I have a stage for the pre-offer. The pre-offer stage, I have one for the under contract stage, and I have a sold stage, right? So this way I'll be able to upload my transactions, my deals into any of these stages here, and I'll be able to push them through this pipeline, right? So from pre-offer to under contract to sold, right? That way I can manage all of my transactions from prospecting to close. What's really great, again, you can customize these transaction types. You can go ahead and click on that edit icon, and if you wanted to add more stages, you can. Right, so I think it defaults to these three stages: pre-offer, under contract, and sold, but you can always add more. Awesome. All right, y'all, so that's the pipeline there, right? So you want to start uploading your transactions into this pipeline. That way you can start tracking your deals. So how do you go about uploading your transactions? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that pipeline, and right below, you're going to see this blue button here, New Transactions. When you click, you'll be able to upload all of the information that you have for your transaction. So first, it's going to ask you to give this transaction a name. Let's go ahead and type in Steven's vacation home. Right, he's looking to buy a vacation home. What type is this? What pipeline is this going to fall under? Is this a purchase? Is this a listing for sale, listing for lease, lease or real estate other, right? In this scenario, it's going to be in our purchase pipeline. And then I'm going to select the stage, right? Where is this deal currently on? Is it in the pre-offer stage? Is it in the under contract stage, or is this already sold, right? So let's go ahead and start this in the pre-offer stage. All right, so once you click on next, you're going to see all this information that you can add about this transaction, right? So you're going to add the property info, you're going to add the key contract dates, you're going to add the financial information, contract info, and then you can link your transaction to the contacts in your CRM, right? So you'll be able to fill out all of this information. So let's go ahead and start filling this info out. So country, US, street number 100, Main Street. Go ahead and click on next. After that, it's going to ask me for these key contract dates, right? The start date, the closing date, the inspection date, the offer date, right? We have other dates as well. You can always click here to view more options, right? So offer expiration date, occupancy date, contract agreement dates, and then contract dates, right? So these are the default dates that Liondesk provides. Again, like I mentioned, these are customizable, so you can go back and edit these dates, create new dates, right? Dates that you want to track, right? So transactions is pretty customizable here. Awesome. So from here, you'll just add these dates. And if you don't know these dates at the moment that you upload this information, don't worry. You can always go back and make some edits. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and just fill in these dates. I'm going to click here. I'll get this pop-up calendar, and I'll just select from here. Right, so for the start date, let's go ahead and select today. Press OK. Closing date, let's do a month from now. Inspection date, let's do a week later. Right, so just some random dates, and then offer date, let's go ahead and do that tomorrow. Right, so I've added these dates, and again, you can always go back and make edits if anything changes. All right, so once you have the key contract dates, you're going to go ahead and click on next, and then fill out the financial information. Right, so with Liondesk transactions, we can track the sales, total sales, and also the commission, right? Within each transaction, within each pipeline, you'll be able to see all of that information. So you'll add that info here. So from here, let's just go ahead and put 500,000 commission percentage. Let's do 3%, right? And you can always add more options, and you'll see that throughout this entire throughout this entire process. Or you can always click here to view more options. But this is the basic info here. Once you're ready, you're going to go ahead and click on next. Contract info, right? So you can add in the transaction number, the class type, referral percentage. And then finally, we get to contacts, right? So with contacts, you can link contact records with this transaction, right? That way you can see who's involved, right? So you can add in the buyer, you can add in the seller, the buyer's agent, right? You can add in all of these folks in your transaction, right? So this is going to pull in from your contacts that you already have available. So all you have to do is just type in the name, and you're going to see the contacts appear here. So when I'm going to click on find a contact in this search bar, type in the name, and I'm going to see these options right below. So I can click, adds them to this transaction. Awesome. If the contact does not exist yet in your CRM, don't worry. You have this option here to add new contacts, right? That way you don't have to go back. You can do it all from this page here. Let's go ahead and add in another contact. So type in David. Awesome, right? We can keep adding more contacts, right? Any contact that's associated to this transaction. Once you add the contact, you can also assign their role. So what do they play? What role do they play in this transaction? Are they the buyer? Are they the seller? The seller's agent, right? You can assign the role to all of your contacts, right? They're all going to default to admin. So just go ahead and click here, and it's going to give you a drop-down menu of all of the different roles that someone can play, right? So admin, appraiser, buyer, buyer's attorney, buying agent, buying broker, right? You'll see all of this info here. So Steven, in this scenario, he's a buyer, so I'm going to go ahead and click buyer. David Anderson is going to be the seller, so I can just scroll below and search for seller. And as you can see, there's a lot of roles that someone can play within the transaction, right? And again, you can add more contacts and just add all of their roles. Once you're done, you're going to go ahead and click on next. You have the option to add in more transactions, or you can go ahead and click on finish and exit. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on finish and exit. right? And it's going to take us back to Liondesk transactions, right? Just where we started. I'm going to go ahead and point out our transaction type, purchase, right? So it went from 2 to 3. And you're going to see, like I mentioned, that we track the sales and the commission. So you're going to see that info right here. Right, let me zoom it in a little bit so you can see a little clearer. Awesome. So we're going to track the sales and the commission of all of the transactions within this pipeline, right? And if you want to see the entire pipeline, right, you want to see all of the stages, just go ahead and click on this downward caret, and it's going to expand so you can see where all of your deals are, right, and what stage are they in. Pre-offer, under contract, right? And within each stage, I do get that sales and then that commission. Awesome. All right, y'all. So that's the pipeline there. When you upload a transaction info, when you add transactions info, we do create a transaction page that has all the information that you added. So if you scroll below, you're going to see all of your individual transactions that you have uploaded, right? So we're going to see here the one that we just created, Steven's Vacation Home. It has all of the information, right? The address, what stage it's in, the sales value, and also the commission value, right? But that's only a handful of the info that we added. If we wanted to see the entire transaction page, all you have to do is just click on the name of the transaction, and it's going to open up to that page, right? So as I scroll below, I'm going to see all of the info, right? So we'll come back to plans executed. We're going to see the associated context, right? So David's the seller, Steven's the buyer. Right, we have transaction plan actions, which will also come back in a moment. And then finally, you're going to see all of the info that you added, right? The contract info, the financials, the key contract dates, and the property info, right? All you have to do is click, and it's going to expand and show you all of the info that you added. So with that said, like I mentioned, specifically for like key contract dates, if you did not know the exact date or the date for some reason changed, you can always go back and make edits, right? So you'll just go to the transaction page. You'll be able to click here to edit the transactions, and it's going to take you back so you can go in and make your edits. Awesome. All right, let's go back to transactions. Before we move on to the plans, which is how you're going to automate your emails and your text messages, I just want to take a moment to talk about this second tab here, pipelines. So this first tab, dashboard, is giving you insight into all of your pipelines, right? So your purchase, your listing for sale, your listing for lease, and then your real estate other. But if you really want to hyper focus on just one pipeline, right, you can always go to the second tab, pipelines, and it's going to give you an expanded view of specific pipelines. So the first one it's going to pull up is my purchase pipeline, right? I see all of the information, right, for Steven's Vacation Home, Alex's vacation home, Steven's first home, right? And what's really great is I can just drag and drop these transactions to the stage as it progresses, right? So let's say Alex's vacation home, let's just move on to this one. Let's say he went from under contract to sold. Super simple, just drag and drop, click, and move it under the sold section, right? That way you can track all of your deals from prospecting to close. Like I mentioned, this is going to hyper focus on just one pipeline. If you wanted to change the pipeline that you're currently seeing, you're going to see that here in the top or left. Simply click, and you'll be able to jump into different pipelines. Right? Awesome. So I just wanted to point that out. This is going to give you just a hyper focused look into one of your pipelines. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the automation part of transactions, which is going to be plans. All right, so before we jump in, I think it's important to kind of really talk about how plans work. So plans are going to automate your emails, your text messages, also task reminders, right? And they're going to be automated based on the key contract dates that you add, right? So when we added our transaction for Steven's Vacation Home, we had that section for key contract dates. So we added the start date, we added the offer dates, and a few other dates as well, right? So the emails and the text messages will trigger on those dates, or at least based on those dates, right? Whether that's like 2 days later from the start date, 3 days later from the start date, and so on, right? So that's one thing to really keep in mind, is that you need to have your transaction dates in place, your key contract dates in place, in order to automate your emails and your text messages. Next thing is when you create your plans, your plans are going to trigger based on each stage, right? So you're going to create a plan for your pre-offer stage. You're going to create a plan for your under contract stage, and you're going to create a plan for your sold stage, right? So once you move from stage to stage, it's going to automate a new plan, right? And you can create those plans here in this third tab, plans. When you click here, you'll be able to create your own plans. I already have a few created for this demo. So I have a plan for my pre-offer. For those that are in the pre-offer stage, I have a plan for those that are in the under contract stage, right? So let's do this one for an example, plan for under contract. When you click here, I'm going to see what I have set up, which I have 3 tasks where I have to schedule the signing appointment, I have to obtain HOA docs, and I have to schedule the home inspection. Right, you can continue building your plan. Go ahead and click on add an action, right? And you can schedule emails, you can schedule text messages, and you can also set up task reminders. We already have a few task reminders for this specific plan. So let's go ahead and do an example for email. I'm gonna go ahead and click on the email icon and click on next. Once you click on next, it is going to open up all of your email templates. That way, if you already have a template that you want to use, you can select it from this page, right? So just scroll below, search for the folder, and search for your template, right? If you need to create a brand new template, that's totally okay. You're going to see that option here to create a new template. Simply click and then just type in your message, right? But let's go ahead and use an existing template. Let me go ahead and scroll below, buyer follow-up plan. Email number 1. I'm going to select this template and I'm going to click on next. Finally, it's going to ask me, when do I want to send this email, right? And like I mentioned before, this is going to be based on the key contract dates that you put in place, right? So the offer date, the start date, and so on. When you click here on the downward or on this drop-down menu, you'll see all the different dates that you have available. So contract date, offer date, the agreement date, and so on, the inspection date. So go ahead and click. Let's do select contract dates and click on next. Finally, who do you want to send this email to? Do you want to send this to the buyer? Do you want to send this to the seller, to the buying agent, to the seller's agent? Right, you'll be able to assign a contact in this final step. So when you click here, you're going to see all of these rules. Right, so in this example that we just created, we have Stephen as the buyer, and we also have David as the seller. So let's go ahead and send this email template to the buyer and click on submit. Awesome. So once you click on submit, it's going to take you back to your plan and you're going to continue adding more actions if you'd like, right? So you can add in more emails, you can add in more text messages, you can add in task reminders. So once you're done building your plan, they will automatically start once a transaction is added to that stage. So for example, this plan is specifically for the under contract stage. So let's go back into pipelines. Right, we have a transaction that we just added, Stephen's vacation home. That's going to be in the pre-offer stage. So once I move it from the pre-offer stage to the under contract stage, it's going to trigger the plan itself. Right, so when you go ahead and drag and drop, let's go ahead and click and move. You're going to get this pop-up. If you continue to the transaction stage from pre-offer to under contract, it's going to activate a new plan. Right? Any previous plans will be automatically completed, and it's going to schedule a new series of tasks, emails, and text messages. Right? So if you are ready, go ahead and click on continue. And once you click on continue, it's going to automate all of those tasks, those emails, as well as those text messages. Right? So if I were to click on the name, it's going to take me to the transaction page where I'm going to see all of that information, the entire plan, and when things are scheduled out. Right, so I opened up the transaction page. As I scroll below, plans executed. Right, we are currently executing the under contract plan. If I continue to scroll below, I'm going to see all of the actions. Right, so I have a task set for August 4th, July 30th, as well as August 9th. To schedule the signing appointment, obtain HOA docs, as well as schedule the home inspection. Right, so this is a great way for you to track all of your deals, right? Track the sales, track the commission, automate your emails, automate your text messages, and really stay on top of your workflow. Awesome. All right, y'all. So that was Liondesk transactions. I know I saw a few questions about them in the chat box over this past week, so I wanted to make sure that we got those questions answered. That said, this will be, I don't see any other questions coming in, so this will be last call. If you do have a question about Liondesk, just make sure to add it in the chat box, not in the chat box, my bad, in the comment section below, and I'll see them here in my chats. So again, if you have any questions, just add them in the comment section below. This will be last call. But in the meantime, I do want to take these next few minutes to talk about our training resources. So if you have any questions, where can you go to get help? All right, so here we are back in the home page. If you look in the upper right corner, you will see this 4 square icon. When you click, you will see these different tiles, right? Training resources, the help center, marketplace, and submit ideas, right? All of these resources are available to you. So let's talk about each one. Submit ideas, right? With submit ideas, if you want to see a feature in Liondesk, right, or if you want to suggest some improvements, please let us know, right? We're really focused on creating a platform that works for you as a as a real estate agent, as a business owner. So let us know what you need in our CRM. Click here to submit your idea. We also have a marketplace, which is your one-stop shop for services, integrations, and features. So when you click and you go to our marketplace, you're going to see all of these different tiles that highlights these features, services, and integrations, right? So as I scroll below, you'll see info for our power dialer, for the Facebook ad portal, for our lead assist. If you're looking to hire a professional to set up your Liondesk account, you can. If you're looking to hire a professional for lead generation, you'll see that option here. For integrations, you can continue to scroll below and you'll see all the different integrations that you can do with Liondesk. So just for a few examples, you can integrate with BrokerMints, ActivePipe, Call Action, right? Dotloop, MailChimp, Outlook, and Mojo. Just go ahead and click here to see the full details. Going back into Liondesk, we also have a help center. Right, when you click here, you will see our help center tile. So this is going to take you to our help center, which is going to have a lot of articles and videos that walk you through all aspects of Liondesk. Right, so if you have a specific topic in mind, you can go ahead and use this search bar. Right, just type in those keywords, click enter, and you're going to see all the articles that match. But if you just want to explore, we do have these categories listed below. So you can jump into account setup, contact management, marketing tools, our Facebook ad portal, transactions, our mobile app, team management, lead routing and automation, as well as our marketplace, right? So these are all these categories you can jump into and really explore what Liondesk has to offer. All right, and then we have our final tile, the training page. When you click here, you can click on training resources, and it's going to take you to the Liondesk training page. That's going to show you all of the different training resources that are available to you. First thing you're going to see is webinars. So Liondesk hosts weekly webinars Monday through Thursday. So you're going to see those listed right below. So first up, we're going to see the Getting Started with Liondesk webinar series, right? Session 1, Session 2, and Session 3. Really great webinar series specifically for our new users or those that really want to get and dive into Liondesk, right? So Session 1 is all about account setup, uploading your contacts, doing a quick tour of Liondesk and just showing you where things are. Session 2 really focuses on communication, right? Staying top of mind. So we go over emails, text messages, videos, as well as campaigns. And then finally, we have Session 3, which focuses on automation. So campaigns, transactions, as well as transaction plans. We also have a live Q&A every Thursday. So this is where you're joining us now. So we go live on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. So that way we can make ourselves accessible. You can come in and ask any questions every Thursday at 10 a.m. Or you can click here to get notifications. As we scroll below, you will see our self-paced trainings, right? So these are pre-recorded demos that you can jump into, right? So our webinars are all live. You're going to have a rep there available to answer any question that you have. But if you want to just jump in, watch some videos, and get started, you can. Right? You can jump into our self-paced trainings. We have the Getting Started with Liondesk webinar series available to watch on demand, right? So you can watch it at any time, on the weekends, at night, right? No need to wait for a live session. just click here to start watching. We also have Path to Success, which is our online courses that you can take, right? So you can learn more about account setup. You can learn more about our Facebook ad portal, Lead Assist, as well as take a few other courses to get really knowledgeable about Liondesk. We have our Fast Start Guide, which is for our tech-savvy folks who just need a few quick tips to get started. And then we have our video library, which has a playlist of all the videos that we have. That way you can learn more about our system. Awesome. As we scroll below, you will see more resources such as our Help Center, right? We just jumped into, we were just there. The Help Center is full of articles and videos that guide you through all of the features within Lion. Click here to check out the Help Center. We also have a link to our private Facebook group, which I definitely recommend joining. So if you're watching us on YouTube or on LinkedIn, make sure to join our private Facebook group. All you have to do is click here. We have the concierge account setup service. So if you find yourself too busy to set up your Liondesk account, don't worry, you can hire a professional to do the work for you. Right? They can upload your contacts, set up your integrations, set up your autoresponders, and more. And then finally, we do have 3 separate channels of support. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can give us a call at 760-501-8582. You can send us an email to support@liondesk.com, or you can come in through our live chat bubble. Right? Simply click here, and it's going to open up a chat with a live rep. Right? So if you have any questions, you can always come here. You can give us a call, you can send us an email, or you can come in through live chats. We are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Awesome. All right, y'all. I don't see any other questions coming in, so we'll go ahead and officially end the session now. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Again, make sure to check out Liondesk and really make the most out of your account. Awesome. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.